In the year 175 AD, the Roman Empire was struck by a betrayal that should have shattered its foundation. Avidius Cassius, one of Marcus Aurelius's most trusted top generals, declared himself emperor after spreading false rumors that Marcus was dying. Cassius commanded the elite legions of Syria, threatening to march on Rome and ignite a devastating civil war. For any ordinary ruler, this moment would trigger blind panic, explosive rage, and an immediate public execution of every enemy in sight. But Marcus Aurelius was not an ordinary ruler. When the news reached his military tent, he did not scream, he did not curse the gods, and he did not order a bloody purge. Instead, he gathered his soldiers and spoke with chilling, absolute composure. He expressed sadness not for himself, but for a friend who had lost his honor. He told his men that if Cassius wanted the empire, he would step aside if it served the public good. But he would march to meet him, only to teach the world how a true Stoic handles treason. When Cassius was assassinated by his own officers weeks later, Marcus refused to celebrate. He wept for the lost opportunity to forgive the man who tried to destroy him, and he ordered all private letters of the conspirators burned unread, so he would never hold resentment toward them. Look at that moment closely and hold it like a mirror up to your own life. Most people operate in a state of perpetual emotional bankruptcy. They scream when criticized, collapse when disrespected, and scatter their mental energy at the first sign of external conflict. They mistake emotional loudness for authority and aggressive reaction for strength. But loudness is never strength. It is a confession of helpless weakness. True power lives in sovereign, unshakable quiet. The ability to sit in the eye of a brutal storm, feel the full weight of betrayal or unexpected chaos, and remain completely undisturbed is the ultimate form of human mastery. That quiet, unyielding mental fortress is what we are going to build together, starting right here, right now, today. Every time you react to noise, you pay a steep price. When someone throws an insult, challenges your authority, or introduces sudden chaos into your afternoon, your immediate emotional reflex feels like defense. It feels like standing up for yourself. But in reality, it is a total surrender. The moment you match someone else's volatile energy, you surrender the steering wheel of your own nervous system. You tell your brain that the person shouting across the table has full executive control over your pulse, your focus, and your inner peace. That constant emotional friction bleeds your mental currency dry. It signals to every person watching that you are fragile, easily manipulated, and entirely predictable. People who command deep, permanent respect do not compete in the arena of cheap noise. They do not match energy, they absorb it, neutralize it, and dictate the temperature of the room from a place of absolute, unbothered stillness. To become genuinely unshakable, you must stop viewing emotional restraint as passive tolerance. It is the highest form of active psychological dominance. What follows are 8 precise behaviors carved from ancient Stoic mastery, designed to construct your impenetrable fortress. The ancient Stoic master Epictetus taught that we are not disturbed by things that happen, but by the principles and notions which we form concerning those things. He warned his students about what he called phantasiae, the raw, immediate impressions that flood the mind the instant an external event occurs. When someone insults your intelligence, cuts you off in traffic, or delivers devastating news, your brain experiences a flash of raw data. But almost instantly, without your permission, your mind attaches a narrative to that data. It tells you that you have been targeted, that you have been wronged, that you must retaliate immediately to preserve your pride. This is where fragile people ruin themselves. They treat their immediate emotional reaction as absolute truth. They confuse the external spark with the internal fire. The first behavior of an unshakable mind is the deliberate creation of a mandatory pause between the stimulus and your response. When an external event hits your perimeter, you do not allow it immediate entry into your emotional court. You treat it like a cold, physical object. You hold it at arm's length. You examine it with total clinical detachment. Ask yourself one razor-sharp question. What actually happened here? Stripped of my ego, my hurt feelings, and my dramatic interpretation. The insult is merely air moving through someone's vocal cords. The rejection is merely a shift in another person's preference. The obstacle is merely a physical condition of the room. When you strip away the narrative you wrote in your own head, the emotional weight vanishes. You realize that nothing outside your own mind possesses the physical capability to hurt your character or disturb your peace, unless you personally grant it permission. Neutralize the impression before it becomes a thought, and you render the world completely powerless to move you. Marcus Aurelius wrote extensively about a concept he called the Inner Citadel, a fortress built deep within the human psyche that remains completely immune to siege, fire, or betrayal. He understood that while the physical body can be imprisoned, bruised, or constrained, the ruling center of the mind remains entirely sovereign. Look at how most people live their daily lives. They build their homes with steel doors and heavy security systems, yet they leave the front gate of their internal mind wide open to every passing stranger. A rude comment from a coworker ruins their entire evening. An unexpected delay in a project throws them into a state of blind panic. A cold glance from someone they barely respect sends them spiraling into self-doubt. They are living without walls. They have handed the key to their emotional sanctuary to every person who walks past them. When you operate like this, you are not a free human being. You are a hostage to external conditions. To become unshakable, you must build high, thick, impenetrable walls around your internal domain. You must establish a clear psychological border that separates what happens outside from who you are inside. When insults, chaos, or malice are thrown over your walls, they should hit the stone and drop dead in the dirt. The opinions of others are not facts. They are merely noise generated by minds you do not govern. Do not let unvetted guests enter your internal sanctuary. Do not let ungrounded criticism alter your internal temperature. Your worth, your standards, and your peace belong to you alone. Build your inner citadel, guard its gates with relentless discipline, and ensure that no person, no circumstance, and no sudden storm can ever force their way inside without your explicit consent. Seneca, one of the wealthiest men in the Roman Empire, gave a strange piece of advice to his friend Lucilius. He told him to set aside a few days every month to eat the cheapest food, wear rough, dirty clothes, and sleep on a cold floor. While doing this, Seneca said, ask yourself one question. Is this the condition that I feared? Seneca understood a profound psychological truth that modern culture tries hard to hide. Your anxiety does not come from the hardship you are facing right now, but from the imaginary horror of the hardship you are trying to avoid. When you live in luxury, comfort, and constant validation, your mind becomes soft, fragile, and terrified of loss. You become easily controlled because anyone who threatens your comfort holds immediate leverage over your soul. You over-explain, you bow down, and you compromise your integrity simply because you are terrified of poverty, isolation, or discomfort. To become genuinely unshakable, you must systematically destroy that fear through voluntary exposure. You must intentionally choose the hard path long before life forces it upon you. Take cold showers. Fast for a full day. Speak your truth when it creates awkward tension. Train your body through physical exhaustion. Walk into rooms where you are completely ignored, and sit comfortably in that isolation. When you deliberately invite discomfort into your life on a regular basis, something incredible happens inside your mind. The ghost loses its power. The threat of losing status, money, or comfort no longer scares you because you have already looked that hardship in the eye and survived it with your dignity intact. A person who needs very little to be satisfied can never be threatened, bribed, or broken. When a room explodes with anger, panics under pressure, or descends into petty shouting matches, observe what happens to the human hierarchy. Most people immediately match the elevated volume. Their voices rise, their breath quickens, and their body language shifts into defensive posturing. They believe that matching aggression with louder aggression projects authority. In reality, it signals complete loss of internal control. When you scream back at a screaming person, you validate their chaos. You lower yourself into their arena where they hold the home field advantage of unhinged emotion. The Stoic approach to conflict is radically different, profoundly intimidating, and brutally effective. You deploy weaponized calm. When someone raises their voice at you, lower yours. When someone speeds up their speech to overwhelm you, slow your cadence down. Maintain steady, unbroken eye contact. Do not fidget. Do not cross your arms in defense, and do not rush to fill the silence. Let your body remain as still as stone, while the other person burns through their emotional oxygen. This is not passive submission. It is cold, surgical dominance. Unearned aggression thrives on a reaction. It needs your fear, your anger, or your apology to sustain itself. When it hits the absolute brick wall of your unbothered silence, it collapses under its own weight. The person shouting will suddenly feel exposed, irrational, and deeply foolish in front of everyone watching. By remaining low-tempo, deliberate, and entirely unmoved by their emotional bait, you force them to adapt to your frequency. You demonstrate that while they are drowning in their own noise, you remain the undisputed master of yourself and the absolute authority in the room. The foundation of Stoic philosophy rests on a single, uncompromising boundary known as the dichotomy of control. Epictetus insisted that everything in life falls into one of two categories: things that are entirely within your power and things that are not. Within your power are your intentions, your efforts, your choices, and your personal character. Outside your power are the actions of others, market conditions, public opinion, physical illness, and final results. Fragile people tie their self-worth directly to outcomes they do not govern. They work hard, expect the world to reward them on their timeline, and suffer emotional devastation when reality refuses to comply. When you demand that external circumstances align with your desires, you turn your mind into a casino where the house always wins. To become unshakable, you must cultivate ataraxia, an untroubled, tranquil mind achieved by severing your emotional dependency on final results. You must separate your execution from your expectation. Channel 100% of your energy, focus, and discipline into the work itself. Write the book, lead the team, execute the strategy, or speak the truth with absolute precision, but release your grip on how the world responds. If you win, accept it without arrogance. If you lose, accept it without self-pity. If you are praised, remain cold to the flattery. If you are vilified, remain indifferent to the slander. When your peace of mind depends entirely on the integrity of your effort rather than the chaos of the outcome, you become immune to heartbreak, immune to failure, and entirely impossible to intimidate. Consider the life of Musonius Rufus, one of the 4 great Roman Stoics, who was repeatedly arrested, stripped of his possessions, and exiled to desolate islands by corrupt emperors who feared his moral authority. While lesser men withered into bitter resentment or spent their days plotting revenge, Rufus transformed every period of exile into an academy of the mind. He tilled the barren soil, taught philosophy to local fishermen, and maintained that no tyrant had ever managed to exile his soul, because his soul belonged only to his own principles. Bitter men view betrayal, injustice, and unfair circumstances as tragic ends to their story. Unshakable men view them as necessary friction required to forge an unbreakable nature. When someone deceives you, stabs you in the back, or treats your loyalty with cold disrespect, your instinct will be to ask why this happened to you. That question is a trap designed by victimhood. The Stoic shifts the question immediately. How does this refine me? An injustice is not a sign that the world is broken. It is a test designed to demonstrate whether your values were real or merely performative. If your loyalty disappears the moment someone treats you poorly, it was never loyalty, it was a transaction. If your integrity collapses under betrayal, it was never integrity, it was convenience. When you encounter malice, view it as raw fuel. Use the betrayal to sharpen your discernment. Use the disrespect to harden your boundary. Use the unfairness to prove that your commitment to honor does not depend on the honor of others. Fire converts everything thrown into it into light and heat. Become that fire. Look at how the average person handles a conversation. They speak constantly to fill uncomfortable silences, over-explain their decisions to gain approval, and offer opinions on topics they haven't spent 5 minutes studying. This constant verbal leakage is an admission of anxiety. It tells the world that you cannot tolerate the weight of your own presence unless you disguise it with noise. Over-explaining bleeds authority. When you deliver a decision and immediately follow it with 3 apologies and 5 justifications, you are not being polite, you are begging for permission. You are signaling that you do not fully trust your own judgment, which invites everyone in the room to question it alongside you. Unshakable individuals practice conversational economy. They understand the immense psychological power of the pause and the absolute authority of a short, complete sentence. They say what is necessary, say it clearly, and then stop speaking. When you say no to a request, say, "I am not available for that," and allow the silence that follows to belong to the room, you project radical self-assurance. The space around your words gives them weight, turning your speech into something deliberate, surgical, and respected. Seneca noted that a mind accustomed to discipline speaks with calm precision, while an ungrounded mind rushes into endless chatter. Train yourself to count your sentences. Remove the unnecessary fluff, the nervous laughs, and the reflexive justifications. Let your words be few, let them be truthful, and let your quiet presence carry the rest of the message. The ultimate tragedy of the modern era is the performative life. Millions of human beings construct their entire identity around the eyes of strangers. They buy things they cannot afford to impress people they do not like. They parade their successes, announce their goals, and broadcast their virtues, desperately hunting for the cheap dopamine of external applause. But a house built on public validation is a house built on quicksand. The moment the applause stops, the house collapses. If your sense of worth expands when you are praised and shrinks when you are ignored, you have handed the key to your identity to a fickle, undisciplined crowd. The Stoic path demands that you build your character in total darkness. You must cultivate standards that exist entirely independent of an audience. Marcus Aurelius spent years on the freezing Danube frontier, writing in his private journal words that were never meant for publication, continuously refining his soul simply because he believed that a man must be good even if no one ever witnesses it. When you perform discipline only when people are watching, you are not disciplined. You are an actor. True strength is built in private execution, in the early morning workouts nobody sees, the promises kept to yourself at midnight, The quiet sacrifices made without posting them online, and the silent integrity maintained when cheating would be entirely free of consequence. When your self-respect is anchored in invisible, private mastery, you walk into every room with an unshakable weight. You no longer seek approval, because you already possess the only validation that matters: the quiet, undeniable proof of your own character. Becoming unshakable is not a genetic trait reserved for historical legends. It is a daily, deliberate choice to govern your own mind while the world around you unravels in chaos. It is refusing to let the noise outside dictate the peace inside. It is keeping the invisible promises you make to yourself in the dark, speaking only when your words carry weight. Holding your ground in high-tension rooms without flinching, and building an internal fortress so deep and so strong that no insult, no betrayal, and no sudden storm can ever force its gates. You have spent enough of your life reacting, chasing, over-explaining, and teaching people that they can get away with underestimating you. The era of silent permission ends today. Take these 8 behaviors and weave them into the quiet texture of your ordinary days. Do not announce your transformation to the world. Do not make speeches. Do not perform your growth for approval. Build your strength in private. Let your silence command every room you enter, and allow the undeniable quality of your presence to speak for you. If you are ready to stop begging for respect and start building an unyielding, unshakable mind, leave one word in the comments below: unshakable. Walk steady, build in silence, and let the work speak.